Hello, my name is Susan Harper, and this is my interview presentation for CFS 294. First, this is our class description. What it says is students develop a basic understanding of the assessment process, preliminary assessment skills, and learn how the results of assessments are linked to planning for guidance and instruction of young children. Roles of the family in the assessment process are also emphasized. The definition of assessment according to the Teaching Effectiveness Program is the process of gathering and discussing information from multiple and diverse sources in order to develop a deep understanding of what students know, understand, and can do with their knowledge as a result of their educational experiences. The process culminates when assessment results are used to improve subsequent learning. These are just a couple examples of assessments that we've learned about in this class. Developmental screenings, Dial 3, which we got to take home and experience, early childhood screenings, physical assessments, progress testing, and IPAS. Now what I'm going to talk about is the interviews that I conducted with 4 people from all different backgrounds. The first one I did was with a health professional. The next was a person who works with infant and toddlers. The third one was a preschool and kindergarten teacher. And the fourth was a parent. In this section, I will review the series of interviews that I conducted with these people. I will examine their jobs, their backgrounds, and what they do. I will also provide what questions I asked and what response they were given. The first interview I conducted was with Brooke Connor, who is an infant nurse. She works in labor and delivery. The assessment that she does is called a NIPS score. It's a pain level scoring assessment that must be done on every baby every 8 hours and during any procedure. What this tool does is it gauges how much pain, if any, that the infant is in. Brooke told me that this tool is usually administered by the nurses that are in the delivery room, but any licensed RN is qualified to do the NIPS score, as well as any technician who is doing a procedure on a baby. Really, they just want to make sure to be aware of what level of pain the baby is in, if any at all. This was a really good interview. I enjoyed being able to talk to somebody in the medical field. Brooke was very, very, very knowledgeable about her field and what she does. She's my age, so it was really nice to talk to somebody around my age that has such a professional job. I, at one point, wanted to be a baby nurse, so it was really cool to get to talk to somebody who works in that field. My next interview I conducted was with Crystal Love, who is the service coordinator for First Steps at Life Skills. What First Steps is a program for children from infancy to 3 years that have been referred to First Steps because of the idea that they might have some type of delay. First Steps will come in and evaluate them on various levels, and then they will take that information from there and provide them services. The assessments that Crystal herself performs include communication, mobility, cognition, and social or emotional evaluations. These are conducted on children, like I said before, from birth to 3. They can be administered anytime. They are immediately administered whenever a child is referred to First Steps, because they need to know, first things first, that first of all, the child does have a disability or a delay. If they don't, then they're not eligible for the program and the services. If they do, they can take that information and then use it to further help them and their family get the services that they need. The information that I received from this interview with Crystal was extremely helpful and very motivational for me. I've always been very interested in working with kids with disabilities and being able to be involved with their families and to help them get more services to help them understand their child's disability and get their child to the greatest potential that they can, and that's what they do at First Steps. Crystal was very informational, very helpful and understanding to my schedule, and talking to her really helped me to push myself to figure out really what I wanted to do once I graduate. I think that working with kids with disabilities would be a great thing for me. The next interview I conducted was with Paulitha Butts, who is a kindergarten instructional assistant at Dishman McGinnis Elementary. The types of assessments that we talked about were progress assessments. These test the children's knowledge of letters, sounds, counting, etc. There's one state-required assessment that tests what has been taught and concepts in reading. Weekly assessments are also given every Friday over the material that was covered for that week. For example, the material that they would cover in 1 week would be a spelling test. Also, when it comes to math, the children are tested every couple of weeks after a couple of lessons. So they have a good amount of time to learn a section of a math lesson that the teacher would like to teach them, and then they're tested over it to make sure that they've understood it and they're comprehending it all. Paulitha told me that it's not as hard as it may seem to give these assessments to kindergartners. She said that at first she was a little nervous about trying to get them all to comprehend the lessons and make sure they weren't too nervous about testing or anything, but she said that it was great working in the classroom with the kids and being able to see their growth and their learning over time periods. The next interview I conducted was with my sister, Elizabeth Harper, who is the parent of a 5-year-old. My niece has had various physical assessments conducted over her lifespan. She has just regular physical assessments, as most children do, to make sure that they are in the normal height and weight ranges for their age. The way these are carried out is her pediatrician checks height and weight at various ages from birth up until now, and she'll have these done at different ages as well as she grows older. The results of these assessments are usually Haley is in at least the 80th percentile for her height, and since she is so tall, she is usually technically considered overweight because she is heavier than many children her age due to her height. My sister is very involved with Haley and makes sure that she doesn't become overweight as she grows older. So it's good for her to make sure that she's eating healthy and doesn't get into the overweight or obese population of children. This interview was easy to conduct with my sister. It was easy to talk to her about these things because I've been very involved with my niece, and it was fun to learn about what all they do at her doctor's appointments and everything, because I don't have any children of my own, so I don't take anybody to the doctor. But it was good to talk to her and learn more about my niece, really. In conclusion, I can say that I actually really enjoyed doing this project. I thought it was going to be hard to get to interview everybody and have time to do it, but I really learned a lot from the 4 people that I interviewed. It was good to talk to the people that I knew already and also get to know a couple people that I had never met before. It was really helpful for me to get out into various areas of my field to see what else is out there for me as far as something that I might be doing as a job in the future. It was also good to talk to my sister, who is the parent, because eventually I will have kids of my own, and being able to ask her different questions about what she goes through, what types of assessments they have to deal with. It's good to prepare myself for that. So I enjoyed making this presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.